Tapu, everyone, peace and blessings. So good to have you again. So we're going to talk about solutions. I'm going to present some possible keys for you to remember when you're thinking about how to relate to your family member, your spouse, your mate, your children, even in terms of taking time to reflect, to deepen yourself before you make decisions, before you move in your family life, so that you can always at least make the effort to make the best possible decisions together. So, number one, remember, everyone wants to be valued. All of us. No one wants to believe or made to feel that they are lesser than. Two, everyone involved in a partnership, a marriage, a matehood, is seeking to attain some benefit. You don't get into a relationship because you want nothing. We all want something. That something could be affection. That something could be wanting to be treated with respect, wanting to have a sense of belonging. Okay? I will say to you though, for those who get into relationships because they preeminently want to have money and material things, that you should really contemplate those thoughts, that belief system before you get into a relationship with another person. If that is a motive for being in a relationship, I promise you, at some point, the universe will test you. You will be made to rethink that. Ultimately, no marriage can be successful, no committed relationship can be successful if money and material things are at the heart of it. Because they never endure. They cannot endure. It is the fidelity, the commitment, the devotion, the positive regard, the making of the decision that is where you choose to be, that ultimately is what will make for a successful relationship. And before you get into that relationship, identify what is the something that you want to have before you get into it. Get a piece of paper, journal, get your journal, or write it down. I want. Yes, these are the things I want. And then evaluate them to see if they are truly meaningful, or if they're frivolous, or if they're delusional, if they're of no worth. Evaluate that for yourself. Look around you and see where others have made their mistakes, whether in your family or otherwise. Number 3, partnerships should be a shared reality, guided by the will of the primary people involved. So, decisions must be made together once we begin to navigate the importance of the relationship. Know that each person is important and that their ideas and thoughts are also important. If you do not, then cracks will appear in the relationship. Remember that each person is coming with experience, with gifts and talents. Where you are weak, they are strong. Where they are strong, you may be weaker. Some people are great at budgeting. Other people are great at planning. You put the two things together and you now have success. So don't undervalue the worth of your mate or partner. The next thing is, look around, as I said, and you will see. Look at the statistics. Look at the history of divorce. Divorce is now considered almost 75% of the marriages fail. And with that as failure, and 25 success stories, go and look at what are the main reasons for why the divorces happen. Then evaluate whether your relationship is on that path. The conflicts that occur as a result of money happens because of a perspective that is not as wholesome as it should be. Remember, when you and your husband or wife or mate makes money, all the money coming into the house belongs to the family. There is no your money and my money anymore. I've heard that with a lot of couples, and it creates continuous conflict. Man and woman should sit down together and create a budget of how the monies should be spent and saved. Remember to save. Put a family account aside for your rent, your food, your daily general expenses, fixing the car, transportation. Okay? Clothes. Then put aside a long-term account for saving for your future goals and dreams that you have decided on together. Okay? And for emergencies. And then you may want to create an account for each adult so that you put some spending money in there for some of the things that they may want to do, hobbies or, special projects, or even if they want to start a little business for themselves. Okay? Because before I married you, before you married me, I had dreams and I had goals. There were things that I wanted to do. And we should be able to incorporate that into the marriage. You shouldn't have to throw away your dreams and goals just because you got married or just because you made a commitment to a relationship. They shouldn't be abandoned. And then think of the money you earn, and this is really important, not as mine or yours, but ours. That ours concept creates a unity. It creates a strength. It strengthens the commitment. And what it does, it makes it so that you're now a team. You're not a one-man show. This is how you actualize and give content to your relationship, by instituting this action of managing your monies and your budgets and so forth together. The other thing is, and this is number 6, pay close attention to your thoughts going in your mind. When conflicts occur and you are feeling as if you have been, violated, pay close attention to your thoughts, the thoughts that are telling you that you want to hurt the other person to get back at them. If you find yourself days, weeks, months going over these inferior thoughts, these dark thoughts, know that they will come to no good. If you find that you are mulling them, sowing them over again and again, that is a warning sign. And as such, you should maybe find a trusted friend. Sit down with them. Tell them how you're feeling. Reason it out with them. Okay? Because if you were to initiate or to put what you're feeling into action, it would further erode the relationship. It will not build the relationship if you truly want it to last. And if that doesn't work, if you do your meditation and you write wisdom seeds and you find, then it is time for you, if you can't shake it, then it is time for you to get professional help. You need to find somebody, a therapist, maybe, I don't know, maybe your pastor or, your priest person or somebody, a counselor, of a particular type who can help you to gain the correct perspective on this. And also, as you're going through this self-search to find out, if you're in this mindset, ask yourself, where did I learn this? Who? Always, when you find yourself in the midst of behaviors that you cannot explain, why you're feeling this way, why you're so entrenched, determined, stubborn, and committed to fulfilling those behaviors, ask yourself where you learned this. And if you're true to yourself, you may come to the understanding that you learned it vicariously in your environment. As I said before, there's nature and nurture. And if you learned it in your environment, then it could be a pattern that would be easier to break. Okay? And then if you find that if you look at yourself and there's nothing in your environment that taught you how to behave this way, whether you saw your parents or, your great aunt or your uncle or somebody that you loved and care about, and it is a part of your nature, then you need to set to work and transform yourself. And as I say, meditation, guided imagery, you know what I'm saying? Creating acts of kindness and acts of doing. One of the things is that if you can do is that if you feel you want to do harm or whatever to do, then do something that is positive for that very person. Commit an act of kindness. A lot of times what it will do is it will open the heart and it will allow the love to flow. And if you can do that, set yourself on a path of doing instead of mulling, then what I'm saying, you can set yourself free. And by doing that and working on that, you will save the relationship that you say that you want, and you will be able to be an example to your mate of being a loving person. And also, of course, if someone does something that is unkind to you, have the courage to have a conversation with them. Because sometimes things are done without intention, unwittingly, and the other person did not realize that they had directly wounded you. Ultimately, though, it is about your response. People will always make errors. They will always make mistakes. But it is all about how you respond to it. Peace and blessings. Take care and hechebu.